Y'all Good evening, welcome to another edition of The Focus TV. As you guys just saw, some really impressive highlights from this year's Gym Couch National Training Showcase. Cardell got a great list to go through, share with you which players stood out and why, some names that you should keep an eye on as players progress through the ranks. Again, this is The Focus TV. We got Octavia White here. Looking forward to someone's NFC East segment once again.
Why?
Back-to-back weeks.
Why?
Because it's fun.
Why?
Always gets,
we should just suspend the whole
I can't just be a
segment.
fan of your segment. Like,
No,
not
now.
about supporting each other, right?
Not today.
Looking
Not
forward
this
to
season.
segment. Not this season? Wow, not this season.
How y'all complaining?
Who, me?
Y'all see what's going on in Denver?
I have no issue with Denver. They're very nice people. For personal reasons, I have no beef. But let's get things started right here on Focus TV. Cardell, who stood out at this weekend's Gym Couch National Training Showcase?
Man, it was a lot of players, definitely locally and nationally, even internationally. It was a different mix of players. But this year was kind of more special because, this was the first year. It's the second year me inviting a local team up. But it's the first year I kind of got to bring a public school, team up, the battle. Team Greenbelt, for those that know, that's Eleanor Roosevelt, defending Maryland for his state champs. And they got a chance to battle New York's state champs. They have a different terminology, I'm not sure, but they're the state champs, defended the state champs in their section, and that was Mount Vernon, one of the top coaches in the country. They got to do battle and came down to the wire, hard-fought game, well coached. I love the fact that, Eleanor Roosevelt, assistant coach Emmanuel Matei, I hope I don't butcher his name, he didn't come up there just to, just roll the balls out, let guys just play. Yeah, he actually coached, made adjustments, X and O, called plays out, whatnot, and the kids showed their championship pedigree. The game came down to the final seconds, 10 seconds. It was tied 47. Senior point guard Olumide Lewis, converted a tough lay-in and one with 5 seconds left to give Eleanor Roosevelt a 49-47 lead. And they ultimately held on. Mount Vernon tried to get a quick inbounds, pass off the, I think it was a miss, and then it went out of bounds, and then they tried to inbound it real quick. Eleanor Roosevelt got the steal, secured the win. They won 49-47 on Mount Vernon. Roosevelt senior guard Jahari Simon took home MVP honors with 18 points, and Mount Vernon was led by their senior forward, a guy that people need to get on. He's undersized, he's 6'6", but the boy is a technician, man. He's 6'6", but he's a technician on the block, and he can step out and shoot jumpers, mid-range and three-point range. Troy Hupstate, he finished with 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks. And then, the headline everybody wanted to see, New York versus DMV showcase game. Mm-hmm. Let's just say our kids kind of some of our kids were ready to play. Others had to get used to that New York atmosphere.
I know we ready, but what do you think? How did everyone kind of deal with that initial environment? Because it's a little bit different. You're not used to it, I guess.
I think the top kids, were fine. They were excited. They were ready to go. All of them are kind of top, but it was some few on the radar. I always try to get a few under the radar kids up there. Mm-hmm. They were the kind of ones that didn't know about the atmosphere, and it kind of, it kind of took them by surprise because, New York is direct, it's blunt. It's not, you can't hide. Even if someone's not really coming at you, if you're quiet and they know who you are, they'll call you on the microphone, Wilson. I ain't heard nothing from you all. What's up? And you need to get, and that's what kind of woke them up. And then on top of that, boy Khalil Bryantly.
Oh yeah.
He scored a game high 33 points, 8 threes. He had 25 in the first half. He had 20 points in the second quarter. He went off. He had 5 3-pointers in that quarter. Had a guard from my area guarding him when he went on that barrage. I would not say his name. We're not in the business of trying to destroy the kid, but it got bad. It was embarrassing. And what people don't understand, they want smoke when we come up there. They're not trying to let our players come up there and beat them in their home gym.
That's a sense of pride.
Exactly. So Khalil Bryantly, he's one of them. He got New York in his spirit, even though he's from North Carolina, but he got that New York spirit. He shot a 3 in the dude's face, turned around, put a gun gesture up to his head, said, "Pow." That's what woke our kids up. And then our kids started playing. They started dunking on them and stuff like that. So, New York coach, Milton, good guy, one of the best trainers up there. He made adjustments. He started pressing us, trapping us, making us have to play basketball instead of getting out running. That was our advantage because we had so many wings, versatility, athleticism. We get out and run, we was destroying them. And then all of a sudden, they implemented that, and they were Brantley going off. They jumped out to like a 16-point lead in the second quarter before, we kind of went on the run at the end, for us to be down 9 at halftime. And once again, more credit to Emmanuel Matei. He called them over and just gave them a real speech. He was just like, man, y'all BSing out here. He said, y'all need to get out there and play hard at all times. They playing with more heart than y'all. he said the thing is y'all not just representing y'all representing where y'all from. So if y'all come out here BSing, now they not only gonna think y'all sweet, but where you come from is sweet. And it ain't sweet around here, so you got to step up and do that. So they started to compete more. Brantley, like I said, he had 33, but he had 25 at the half, so they cooled him off. And then it just came down to, you know, they're big, who I'm gonna touch on a little bit. Fuller, he kind of did the damage inside, but it was just too much of a lead to try to, you know, come back from. And you know what I'm saying, New York kind of pulled it out 90-83 at the end of the day, but it was a great game. A lot of exciting plays. We definitely left a mark. New York was definitely, you know, the kids, even though we lost, New York respected the kids that came to play, man. And I'm about to get right into the players that stood out. I talked about Khalil Brantley, 6'2" point guard, Boys and Girls New York. He's in the class of 2021. He's a vicious competitor. That's what I mean. I saw him when he was a kid. He actually came up a couple years ago when he was going into his freshman year. And he had that same dog spirit in him. He won everybody, whoever it was. He went after him. And he's trying to take your heart. When he's hot, it's hard to turn him off, man. It really is. And he has no fear. He'll launch it from wherever. He honestly was the difference maker in the game, and that's why we lost to New York. Like I said, 33 points, 25 in the first half off of 6 first half triples. Second quarter flurry, Brantley scored 20 points thanks to 5 straight three-pointers. He put on the show. He took it to our kids, and you know it took all of that to get our guards to kind of respond to the challenge. Like, we gonna cut all this out. Thing is, he's just not an offensive player. He actually loves defense too, and that's why I like. They compete in every way. So he was swarming, trying to cause turnovers, get out and run, digging down, getting timely deflections and steals, and he's a capable playmaker. He's an all-around guard, man. You know what I'm saying? So. I think people might knock him because he's a little short. You know, they list him at 6'2". I'm not sure. You know, he could be around that, but you know, he's between 6 feet and 6'2". But he get the job done. That's all that matters. And the thing about him is he's a problem, and he knows he's a problem. You know, it's different than when other people say it. So you got to respect that. Local kid Dylan Edwards, you know, 6-foot point guard out of St. Andrews in the 2021 class as well. I think he's kind of underrated. He can shoot it with range, he can handle, he can defend, and he's sneaky athletic. When you see him play, you may think he's just kind of on the floor just being quick and fast, but he actually has balance with that. He has a point guard mentality, even though he can score, which is good, but sometimes I feel like he overpasses.
Gotcha.
And that's what he did in the game. He blow past this guy, and he had room to have floaters and runners and stuff to score. But he kind of over dribbles in the paint looking for guys. And and I get it, he then, you know, want to ruffle feathers, but you know, once the gauntlet then laid down with the guard play and all that, you got to take the points you can get, especially with the big man, the athletic big man that New York had, who I'm going to talk about in a little bit inside. When you got a chance to score, you got to try to score and possibly get him in foul trouble, or at least make him think you're capable of scoring, because that way, feed your bigs, dump it down low, and create easy shots. But you can count on him to run a team, man. He's very coachable. When he learns how to finish in the lane more and not just at the rim, you know, using, like I said, a variety of floaters and runners and stuff, he'll be a terror. And that's the only thing I see kind of stop him right now. Another kid, Elijah Fisher, the top freshman. I know he's from Canada, but pretty much in the country. You know, out of Crestwood Prep, 6'5", shooting guard. Another one out of Toronto. He's a pro, simple as that. And he has all the prerequisite skills to be a top pick when he comes out of high school. He's a legit freshman. He's 14. I mean, he's 6'5", but he was bigger than pretty much all of the seniors who are committed to college or have offers, who's getting ready to go to college. Like, he got the body and everything already. And it's a reason why a lot of colleges are not even bothering to recruit him or offer him, because they just feel like once that rule changes where you get rid of the one and done, he's gone straight to the league. And he showed why he was definitely that. Like in the underclassmen game, he dominated. It was nothing they could do. He can dominate. He's versatile. He can dominate as a guard and a little bit of small forward. You know, he's athletic. He's strong. He has a college build. He's competitive. But it's his versatility, the way he can score in all 3 levels off the bounce, how he can play make. It's nothing on the floor he can't do. And then you add in the natural ability, like I said, with his strength and athleticism. I mean, right now it's just unfair. Like, he's just dominated. Like, he really didn't even belong to the underclassmen game. He should have been playing up in the upperclassmen game. But, you know, they sticking to what they do, you know, and I get that, not no knock against them, but, yeah, I just, if he continues to work, especially if he grows, keep growing 6'7", 6'8", I don't want to put this pressure on him, but playing against him when I went to camp, it was a lot like seeing LeBron for the first time, except LeBron was more pass first but could score, and this kid's more of a scorer but can pass. You see, that's the difference. But like I said, I'm not saying he's the next LeBron, but it was a lot like seeing that for the first time, just how dominant he was. If you keep working, just stay on the trajectory. He's going to be playing 82 games very soon. It's a no-brainer. Shamani Fuller, that big man I was telling you about from New York, 6'9", forward center out of Cardell Hayes High School. He's a junior, 2021. Highly athletic big man with a development skill set. He runs the floor like a guard. Has great length. He rebounds, blocks shots, looks to dunk everything. If he's close to the basket, he's not laying that joint up. He's trying to put everybody in the basket, which I love. That's how you should play as a big man. He owned the paint against the DMV. He had 14 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks. But I want to see him keep building on the perimeter a little bit. Not saying live out there like a lot of bigs are trying to do, but just get enough skill set where you got to keep the defense honest. They have to defend you out there, and get stronger so he can keep his base on the post, on the block, so he can go to work on the block, develop his post skills, left hand, right hand hooks, all that stuff like that. And he can dominate inside and out, and that will be his ticket. You know what I'm saying? He has offers from UMass, St. Bonaventure, Siena, and Bryan, among others. I think it's going to explode a little bit more as he going in his junior year. I think it's going to definitely pick up. He's too talented. Next up is Troy Hupstead, 6'6" forward out of Mount Vernon. He's a senior. Like I said, people may knock him because he's 6'6", but he's crafty, man. He's one of those Kyle O'Quinn type bigs that could do a little bit of everything that people would sleep on, but he's going to kill when he gets to the next level. He's a double-double machine, simple. You can pretty much put up 10 to 10 from jump, you know what I'm saying? Even though he's undersized, he's tough to deal with inside. He's physical, he has skill, and he's underrated athletically. He can score inside in a variety of ways, left hand, right hand hooks, has runners and floaters, but he can also score off the bounce and step out to 20 feet, knock down jumpers to keep you honest. So you have to really guard him everywhere. Defensively, he's also a presence due to his shot blocking and ability to defend out on the perimeter, which is vital with so many teams. Everybody's trying to pick a roll now, so he can bang with bigs, get switched out on guards, and you be comfortable with it. I think he's a sleeper that should come a force in the senior year. I know he's well known in New York, but I think with the region, I think if you have another strong season, I think he's going to blow up doing in the region, maybe even nationally. Gotcha. It's just a matter of him continuing to do the work he's been doing. Another local kid, Jamel McNair, transferred from Pilati to Eleanor Roosevelt, 6'2" guard. He's a senior. I think he's going to be a major piece for Roosevelt this season as they try to repeat as state champs. McNair was steady all weekend in New York. He's poised, has high IQ. He's highly efficient at every phase of the game. He's just very good at everything. It's nothing like, I need you to do this, he could do it. And, that's rare for a lot of players, especially in the high school level. He can score from all 3 levels. He's a solid rebounder, versatile defender, and playmaker. He made timely plays and forced key turnovers late in the win over New York powerhouse Mount Vernon. He has offers from Navy, Marshall, VMI, and a few others. But I like this kid. I think he, playing on that stage with Eleanor Roosevelt because they're one of our top public schools in the area. I think his stock gonna blow up a little bit more. He gonna get a few more offers. Another one from Eleanor Roosevelt, Quentin Mincy, 6'5" wing. He's a senior, but he's already committed to Mount St. Mary's. I like Mincy a lot, man. He's competitive, has a winning mentality, obviously, which is no surprise considering the programs he come from in high school and on the AAU circuit. Mincy is a lethal slasher, 6'5", good playmaker, versatile defender. He's great at help side defense. He'll come over, he's a wing, he'll come all the way from the 3-point line down in the paint and block your shot if you ain't careful. He did that all weekend. He's a streaky shooter at this stage. If he's going, he can fill it up. But if not, it can be, it can go on, it can carry on with him being cold. But how it would work, he has the tools to be a shooter. He has a good foundation. It's just a little tweak here and there, and work, he'll be fine. To me, that's the only thing from holding him back from being a total complete player. He stood all weekend long, shining in the upperclassmen game, the New York versus DMV showcase, and helping lead Roosevelt to a win over Mount Vernon. To me, the sky's the limit for them. I think Mount St. Mary's got to steal with him. If it's one kid that blew up the most during this stretch, it was Mike Myrie, man. He sat out last year with academic issues from what I heard from his AAU coach. He's at Magruder, 6'3" guard, 2021 class. He came in there, no one knew who he was outside us. Heck, a lot of people don't even really know who he is locally because he hadn't played in a year. But he put on the show. He came in there unknown, they didn't know who he was, but he changed that right away. He had a breakaway dunk, regular dunk, but you could see his explosiveness coast to coast. And then he had one of the best plays all weekend, man. We got a steal. He got in the outlet, went up, windmilled it, shut the whole gym down. Everybody like, whoa. Like, everybody like, oh, I didn't know he got it like that. And defensively, he's a dog. He wants that smoke. Got called out by a couple New York guards. He walked over there, let's go, and got to stop. So that's what I love, man. You know what I'm saying? He's down for the challenge, and I think when you got that spirit and you disguise and limit, because all you gotta do is put in the work to get your skill up, and then you ready for whatever. The main area that Myrie has to improve in is his shooting. Once he gets that down, it's gonna be ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he could score 20 just off his athletic ability and the way he can finish inside the paint and all that. But with a jumper, I mean, he could really battle, try to lead the area in scoring, and then he would just blow up. And he's a solid playmaker, man. Like, his routine going coast to coast, and collapse in the paint, he kick it out, cars hit threes, simple as that. So he's pretty much a one-man fast break. So I love what he can bring to the table, and I think he's gonna have a very strong year this year at Magruder. Jahari Simon, another guard from Illinois Roosevelt. As you can see why they keep winning state championships, there's a lot of quality players.
There's a whole lot of guard play right there.
Huh?
A whole lot of guard play right there.
That's why they win, you know what I'm saying? 6'3" guard, senior in 2020, he impressed all weekend. He led the DMV in scoring against New York with 19 points, and then led Roosevelt in scoring in a win over Mount Vernon, taking home MVP honors. He's a quiet kid, but his game speaks loud and clear. He can shoot it from all three levels. He was one of the best shooters all weekend from our area. No, honestly, he was one of the best shooters, period. I'm going to just say it, all the national kids. He was up there, too. He knocked down a lot of the jumpers from three, especially when we needed him in the New York game and against Mount Vernon. He's sneaky strong. He's athletic, tough defender, and fearless. To me, I think he's the X factor for Illinois Roosevelt as they try to, repeat as state champs. Man, I think he's the one that teams will have their hands full trying to stop because they're gonna focus on Quincy and McNair and all that, and he's gonna tear them up. So, I like him a lot. The point guard that won all the smoke kept calling all our guards out, Julian Samaro, 5'11" point guard out of Cardinal Hayes High School, 2020 class of senior. Savvy, skilled floor general, control the game beautifully against us. That's why it was hard to come back. He knew when to slow it up. He knew when to speed it up. When to feed his big man. He's a New York point guard, man, which you would expect to see in a New York point guard. He fed Brantley when he got hot. He kept feeding him. He didn't try to score. He did his job. And when Brantley cooled off, he got shots for his big man, got shot for his shooters, and then he took his shots. And that's how he was able to control the game. He could shoot with range, especially off the bounce. He's quick, tough. And, like I said, he has that New York flair with his hand on playmaking. College coaches would nitpick him because of his size. But to me, that's their loss. The kid can play. And I expect to see him doing damage at Division I next year. Last but not least, Tyree Washington, 6'7" wing out of Tacoma Academy, 2020 kid. This kid is so talented, man. I mean, he has pro size and athleticism already. I think the thing that's holding him back is him. I don't think he understands how good he is yet.
Gotcha.
That's what's scary.
It's kind of like the opposite when you were talking about the kid from New York earlier, where he knows he's a problem.
Yeah, if he had that mentality, he'd be top player ranked locally and be a national name. You know what I'm saying? But he's starting to figure it out. Like, he could literally do everything. He could shoot. Athletic as hell. Like, he had a dunk. Like, Myrie went full court, coast to coast, and he kicked it out to Dylan Edwards. Dylan Edwards shot a three. Like I said, he's 6'7". This is something even big man can't do, footers and stuff. He missed. My man jumped off the vertical, caught it back, and dunked it hard. Like, dunked the hell out of that jump. It was hard. Like, Quinn Missy tried to get a running start to try to do the same thing with a follow dunk, and he dunked it on him, and the ball hit him right in the face, and he fell. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody in the gym lost. Even Sean, the next day, came even like, yo, that kid, man. I'm like, I know. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean by his combination of skill, athleticism, and his improvement, like, feel for the game. I think out of everybody, he got the most pro potential. I don't want to put that label on him because he still got to go to college, but I just think it's stupid if no college really offer him. Like, he's definitely a mid-major talent, but I think with a strong year, high major's going to swoop in and take him out because he's just too dang talented. Like, It's just he knows how to play. I just think it's just. I'm not saying he's not confident. I just get in kill mode where it's like none of y'all. If he really says nobody in this area will mess with me, then nobody in this area will mess with him. It's simple because he can do everything, and that's when I want to see this year. I want to hear him just blow up like that. He has a solid handle, like I said, can score from all three levels. Versatile defender. He got challenged by New York. Dude got the ball on the wing. It was just him. He was underneath the basket. He came down, tried to dunk on the left hand. Tyree went up.
That's when I got that blocked in the highlight.
Yeah, went up both hands, blocked that jump.
Yeah, I saw that.
With ease, and ain't even think about it, man. Embarrassed the kid with he has it all, man. And like I said, no brainer mid-major talent. I just think he's a little bit better than that. I think the high majors will swoop in real quick. He just got to do damage this high school season.
All right. Well, if you guys want to get a little bit more info on this year's Jim Couch National Training Showcase outside of what Cardell just shared,
Yeah, I have it up.
Head over to finestmag.com as always. All right, Octavia, you know what time it is. Let's go. NFC segment.
I don't know what time it is. I have no idea what time it is. What time?
It's time for your segment. Let's go NFC East.
Yeah.
Where we starting this week?
We'll start with. Let's just go ahead and start with the game.
Okay.
Just get it over with.
Right now.
Let's just do it.
Like right now. Okay.
No, I am trying to prolong it. Okay, so week 7 NFL NFC East. We had one interdivisional game.
We did.
Oh, man.
It's the Eagles versus the Cowboys. Cowboys won 37-10. The Eagles' next game is versus the Bills, and the Cowboys will be on a bye this week coming up. Carson Wentz was 16 of 26, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 4 carries for 12 yards. Jordan Howard, 11 carries, 50 yards. Dallas Goedert, 4 receptions, 69 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the other side, Dak Prescott was 21 of 27, 239 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 5 carries for 30 yards, and 1 touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott had 22 carries, 111 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 receptions for 36 yards. Savon Austin, 1 carry, 20 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Amari Cooper, 5 receptions and 106 yards. So the NBA starts tonight.
Really? That's what we're doing? So the NBA starts tonight.
It does, and I am on to basketball season at this point. To add insult to injury, I did go to the Redskins game on Sunday.
Oh, you sat out in that?
So it was very easy for me to stop watching our game at night because I was already tired, and I was like, I'm not about to sit up and watch this. But it was just all around. I have no words. All I can say is hats off to the Cowboys because they showed that they were the better team. I can't even talk trash.
Just a question. Were you mad at your coach when he made that guarantee?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was. I said that last week. I just wish we'd just be quiet. Just go play the game. Because then, don't get me wrong, I still think it would be a story this week with them losing because it was for first place in the division. But I don't think it would be as loud.
Yeah.
But, he says he has no regrets. He should, but he doesn't. So they were the better team. They were clicking on all cylinders. Dillard started in place of Jason Peters this week. He is quote unquote dubbed to be his replacement. That's technically why they drafted him. Didn't have a great outing for his very first start. Was getting demolished by DeMarcus Lawrence. It was just all bad. And then on the opposite side of the ball for our defense, it's getting worse to me. I feel like it's progressing from the back, from the secondary up to the front, and I don't like it. The fact that Fletcher Cox got his first sack of the season.
Wow.
Are you serious?
We're in game 7.
Yeah, that's dang.
He got his first sack of the season in game 7.
That's tough.
Like I already said, I just feel like Brandon Graham has been having an awesome season, but he can't do it by himself. It's nice to see Fletcher finally get involved, but there's got to be other people that have to step up and help because It's just all bad.
Y'all don't want to win, man. Y'all know the move y'all gotta make.
The secondary is just, they're still messed up too. Jalen Mills came back after being on the PUP list. I mean, he did get an interception, but he is not the end-all be-all fix of the situation. I am wondering where the heck Zach Ertz is. Have no idea. Haven't seen him.
Wow.
Maybe Julie can take his place. I don't know. It's getting really rough for me. But on the other side, like I said, the Cowboys, I have nothing bad to say about them. They had a great game. They won when they were supposed to. They go into their bye week going to win on top of the division. The only silver lining is we are only one game back. They're 4-3.
You gotta love that division, right?
He really put up a picture of them.
That's all they need to do. If they want to win, everybody ain't committed to winning. Come on. Everybody ain't committed to winning. That's all I'm saying.
Anyways, like I said, the Eagles' next game is versus the Bills on Sunday. So also, like I stated, I did actually go to the Redskins versus the 49ers. It was a monsoon out there. Legit. I legit wore, I was like, okay, as long as I got like a water resistant jacket, I'm cool.
Yeah, that trash bag.
Man, it was cool for most of the game until the end because I guess I was expecting for it to rain but not be a constant downpour the whole time. And it was legit a constant downpour the whole time. So literally by the time I left FedExville, I was soaked. Which I will say it was still hard to watch the game that way. So most of what I saw was highlights, to be honest, because it was hard to focus on it.
It was hard to watch at home.
It just wasn't a good opportunity for both teams to show their full potential, whatever that may be for both sides. But the Redskins, they played the 49ers. Redskins lost to the 49ers 9-0. The Redskins' next game is Thursday versus the Vikings.
You like
Good
that?
luck. I've been there. Good luck. They've done that. Don't want to do that again. Case Keenum was 9 of 12 for 77 yards. Adrian Peterson was 20 carries for 81 yards. Strickland had 2 receptions for 30 yards. So just based off of the stats, you can tell it was very, very hard to come by for offense on both sides. I do think there were some times when the Redskins had some opportunities, but they couldn't capitalize on it. Although there wasn't great receiving happening in the game due to the weather, there were a couple of pivotal plays that set the 49ers up, and they did what they were supposed to do when they got the ball down there. So once again, 49ers are still undefeated. It's kind of weird to say.
Oh, weird to say?
It is.
Pow.
It is a little weird, just a little bit. It's a little bit of the hate inside of me. I'm a little upset, but it's cool.
It's fine. But you sat there and watched it.
I did. I didn't really have a choice.
What's it been like watching the winning team all year and then your team all year?
Wow.
But we got one more team in this segment.
It's not good. I'm telling you, I don't like it at all.
You fired the first shot. I was cool.
You right, and I'm just saying I don't like it at all.
I legit was cool, but you just.
I don't like it at all. I hate it so much.
You got to see a defense on Sunday.
And last but not least, like I said, the Redskins will play the Vikings Thursday night, national TV. Good luck to that again. And then the Giants played the Cardinals. Giants lost to the Cardinals 21-27. Their next game is going to be against the Lions on Sunday. Jones was 22 of 35, 223 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 4 carries for 35 yards. Saquon Barkley in his return had 18 carries, 72 yards, and 1 touchdown. Golden Tate, 6 receptions, 80 yards, and Rhett Ellison, 2 receptions, 33 yards, and 1 touchdown. The Giants couldn't stop nothing on the run side at all. Backup running back Chase Edmonds, who had to take over for starting running back David Johnson, who suffered an ankle injury, had a field day for his career high 126 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the Cardinals from getting to Daniel Jones. He was sacked 8 times. They coughed the ball up 3 times. It was just, they were lucky to be in the game as much as they were. And once again, I've heard, just from reading the reports, their coach is very, at least, happy that they competed. And I keep saying that. You can tell they're trying. You know, you can tell they're actually trying. They're trying to win games. They're not trying to just lay down, fold. But at this point, you got to look at it. If they're trying this hard, maybe they just don't have the personnel to actually do anything. And I honestly feel like that's kind of been the trend for them. Now, I do feel like they do have good playmakers, of course. Saquon Barkley, but of course he's still coming back off of a high ankle sprain. Evan Ingram is another one that has high potential. I had him in my fantasy, and in the first 3 to 4 weeks, amazing. But as soon as he gets hurt, it's another thing. So he's coming back from a knee injury, and you can see that that's still lingering. Sterling Shepard, I believe, still didn't play by not passing the concussion protocol. Excuse me. But one thing I will say, it looks like at least Golden Tate is stepping in as the number one receiver, and he's doing a good job. You know, he's the Golden Tate that I've always seen. I feel like he's never been too much. Like he may not fly on your radar as a top wide receiver, but he does what he's supposed to do when he's there. So they got to go back to the drawing board again. The Lions have been a good team this year, so it's not going to be another hard game for them this week as well. So hopefully next week's segment is a little bit happier.
I'm gonna need you to pick the energy up, man. You know
man.
what's going on? Because all last year was like, fly Eagles fly.
No, that was the year before.
It still wasn't this low energy last year. But then again, I can understand why. We're going to take our first break of tonight's show. 9-4-50 breakdown coming up. Jamal Hayward demos a Carmelo Anthony step-through move and the options off of it. Again, a Carmelo Anthony step-through move and the options off of it. After that, we're taking our first break. When we get back, we got some more of the focus for you guys.
Today we're going to work on a move that Carmelo Anthony uses a lot. Usually out of the high post, pinch post, mid post, either wing, and sometimes he can use it from the wing, popping out either from the block or from the elbow. I'm going to start with the high post here, as if I'm facing that wing, and I have a left-hand target, so I have a defender right here, and I'm sealing him off on my right hip. So I have the ball here. So my pivot foot is going to be my right foot. So I'm going to do a hard step through with my left foot as well as with my elbows. So I put the ball behind my head. So hard step through with the left foot towards the defender's midsection. As I'm doing that, the ball goes behind my head, leading with my elbows. This move is useful if the defender's playing tight on you. They don't want to get hit in the face nor the midsection. So here, the ball automatically goes to my hiding pocket, which is my right hip. Square up, shot. So now, after I square up, I can pump fake here, pump fake here. Today we're going to work on a move that Carmelo Anthony uses a lot. Usually out of the high post, pinch post, mid post, either wing, and sometimes he can use it from the wing, popping out either from the block or from the elbow. I'm going to start with the high post here, as if I'm facing that wing, and I have a left-hand target, so I have a defender right here, and I'm sealing him off on my right hip. So I have the ball here, so my pivot foot is going to be my right foot. So I'm going to do a hard step through with my left foot as well as with my elbows. So I put the ball behind my head. So hard step through with the left foot towards the defender's midsection. As I'm doing that, the ball goes behind my head, leading with my elbows. This move is useful if the defender's playing tight on you. They don't want to get hit in the face nor the midsection. So here, the ball automatically goes to my hiding pocket, which is my right hip. Square up, shot. So now, after I square up, I can pump fake here, pump fake here.
Welcome back to the Focus TV.
Who y'all play this week? I hope y'all won.
Talking about
Why are you-
cycles.
why are
Patriots
you-
don't believe in cycles.
Everybody ain't built like them, okay?
I'm trying to. That's the point, Elway.
Listen to it. Y'all saw the GIF. I hate to get off topic, but the GIF where it was not the GIF, it was a clip. They're up by a
And
lot.
Belichick
And my
was
man
talking
is in there in a
coaching.
heated coaching.
With the defense.
Coaching. Like, man,
They got on that. Go ahead. We gonna talk about
I'm
that.
just saying, man. All right, so real quick updates. DC United's 2019-2020 season did come to an end this weekend. They lost 5-1 in extra time loss to Toronto FC, the first round MLS playoffs. They gave up a goal in the 32nd minute of the first half. Then they had an equalizer in the 93rd minute stoppage time. And then just the wheels fell off in extra time. Toronto scored 4 goals in the first extra time period. And then, DC United just wasn't able to respond. As for the Terps football, they lost a tough one this weekend to Indiana, 34-28. You can get over to MyMotorsports.com for a quick little recap. But to pretty much, wrap that up, despite turning the ball over late, they had a chance with 2:49 left and the ball. They just couldn't get it done. The game ended in another turnover. And it's one of those things where, Coach Loxley said, which is true, we were just talking about Belichick, kind of piggyback off that. Good teams don't beat themselves. And one of the things Maryland's done several times this year, they get in their own way a lot. And that's a process, it's part of the process to getting to the other side. It's just discipline. And they'll get there, but we can keep tabs on them. This week, they got a road game in Minnesota. But, all right, Cardell, I know we got a little bit of rapid fire, man. What you got for us?
All right, first question is kind of serious, and I'm going to need your view on it, being only female. Skylar Diggins-Smith said she played 2018 pregnant, and she expressed a lack of team support. Diggins got on Twitter and said, having no support from your own organization is unfortunate. The blast that disrespect the mothers and our rights in the WNBA is incredible. I can't wait until you hear my story from me. People called me a quitter, said I gave up on my team, etc. Not knowing I took 2 full months away from everything because of postpartum depression with limited resources to help me be successful mentally, physically. But just wait though, keep that same energy. I played the entire season pregnant last year. I was an all-star, top 3 and 5 in minutes per game, didn't tell a soul. What are your thoughts on her situation? And this is not the first one. We've even seen other players get pregnant years past, and it was kind of the same vibe. What are your thoughts on this being a female?
I first off commend her for being able to play a full season pregnant. I've personally not been pregnant, but I know a lot of people, and to be able to go through that 9 months as not being an athlete, and to hear how hard it is to do that on top of being a elite athlete is commendable to be able to do that. It's very unfortunate, but the crazy thing about it is it's not uncommon. I'm not surprised. I think women always are going to have it tougher in that realm because they are women. They carry life and they're going to want to eventually get pregnant, have a family, but it's their bodies that have to go through it as opposed to a man who's just like, yeah, my wife's pregnant, but I'm still going, I got to play my game. It's unfortunate they look at it as a business, but I do still think that at least hopefully, I don't know exactly what she means by that her organization didn't support her. So I'm interested to know exactly what she feels of how they didn't support her. Did she feel like she needed more time away and she wasn't able to? Did she feel like they weren't accommodating in her situations? Having postpartum depression is a real thing. I have a lot of friends who've been through that. And like I said, to do that and on top of being an elite athlete and having those pressures, that's a lot to deal with. And it probably pushed her further into depression, honestly. So I commend her for, number one, being woman enough to come out and say this. I'm looking forward to hear exactly the details to kind of get more information. But it's sad, women do have to go through that, and especially in the WNBA, it's more so that they need the support because they do have to take a long period off. It's not like you're an individual athlete like Serena Williams, who's the tennis player. It's not like she has a team. I'm sure she has a team behind her and stuff like that, but I'm saying to be physically on a team and know that you not being there affects the entire organization as opposed to you not being there just affects you and what you have going on. And if you're okay with that, it's okay. I'm okay with sitting out the French Open, and sitting this out and sitting this out. But when you're in a with a franchise where they're like, I don't know if I can afford for you to be sitting out for this long, and this long. So it's very different when it comes to that. But like I said, I commend her for being strong enough to talk about it, because that's a very touchy subject, especially when it comes to being a mother, your kids, how you feel like you were treated during that period of time. So it's unfortunate, and it's definitely unfortunate that I feel like this will probably keep happening unless somebody does something.
Yeah, as Octavia said, it's very unfortunate. Kudos to her. And the other thing, it's just yet again another place that the WNBA has to get better at. We know the CBA talks are coming up. I'm sure this is going to be yet another area of focus. And again, we always talk about, and this is part of those things where people get into that whole discussion about what the woman should be paid, what these women should be paid. This ties into that quality of life. They got to do better. Not necessarily, again, it's more than just matching dollars here and there, but with more money into the league period, you can care for the players better. This type of thing wouldn't happen on the opposite side of things with all the money flowing around. And again, credit to her, but for that organization in Dallas, it hasn't been a good 2 years. With whatever's going on internally, it's just, that's like, what is the third mark in the last 2 years? Yeah.
Obviously we don't know the details. Like I said, respect to her for even coming out. We've seen certain players get pregnant across the league over the years and they just disappear. And that's how you kind of know the vibe is not good when they get pregnant. But just resource, just being a father myself, and seeing what my wife went through. Well, one, obviously we don't go through what women go through, obviously, but if you a true man and you involved, you take a beating too, because especially when the months get to the point where she can't really move, all that, everything falls on you to deliver everything. You can't. It's not a matter of no. You got to do it. So otherwise, and if you were straight up dude, you want to do it because you don't want to risk her being stressed out physically, the baby come here, hurt any kind of way. Just kick your feet up. I got it. So doing those months is tough. Even when she has the baby and she's recovering with the newborn baby, it's even tougher. So it weighs on both sides, but clearly it's tougher for the woman. I'm not even gonna compare the two. But with that being said, they gotta have more resources to help players when they have kids. It's just as simple as that. And I'm not just while they're pregnant. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she didn't tell anybody, so that would probably be the excuse or whatnot. But let's say she did. It should be all types of medical, doctors, masseuse people, anybody there to help her
on call.
On call, just on the plane. And that's why they got to get to a point where they can't fly like Southwest, go to BWI fly. So they need their own private plane where all that's available. And they're going to have to get a plane that's different from NBA planes like the men. Like, they're going to probably have to have a couple seats where pregnant teammates or players can come lay down, get massage, get their kids cared for and all that, like their belly, like whatever they need, man, whatever nutrients on the call, like that's gonna have to be in there because that's what they would need. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And that's what's gonna be the cause of it. You have to do that. And then when they finally have the child, guess what? It's even more stuff because now they're feeling a way about their body. Their body might not respond right away. You see what I'm saying?
And as fast as like everybody's different, yeah.
Yeah, like and exactly like you say, every female is different circumstances. So you have to be aware and have the resources to match it. Like, this is what you need, cool. And that way they will be able to recover quicker, recover healthy, and then when they come back, that's fine. And it's just not playing in the WNBA. They gotta play year round. Well, Skylar's a little bit different because she got stuff outside of the WNBA, contracts, modeling contracts, and all that stuff. But still, everybody don't. Yeah, so they playing year round. So they're pregnant, they losing bread that they count on.
That's your real money over there too.
Yeah, real money, like millions.
And imagine the ones that don't play overseas.
They got sit out, yeah.
So they already don't have that extra stream, and now everything that I have is already being jeopardized too. And a lot of them, they stop to think, they're like, do I really want to have a kid right now? It's like maybe they didn't plan it, but it happened and they've always wanted it, but now they're sitting there second guessing everything because they're like, I don't know how this is going to affect not just me and my family, but my career as well. So it's like there's so many things, so many layers and things that will go into it where, just like you said, they need to have something in place where they're able to still
playing.
Yeah, and I, like you said, I think that's in all sports, all female team sports, in my opinion. Like, I've never really heard anybody in soccer it happened to, but I'm not saying it hasn't. I just personally haven't heard it. You know, something has to happen.
The final question. Everyone saw the Michael Jordan comment about Steph Curry, but I'm not going to get into that aspect of it. It also it just seems to be a tug of war that I want us to talk about, where it's like, well, when I grew up, it was an appreciation of history. You know, what came before you right now. But it seemed like nowadays it's cool to say, nah. And I think, obviously, Steph Curry is a Hall of Famer or whatnot, but I think whenever former players say something, let's just say constructive criticism or whatnot, I think a lot of people today, most players, not all, but most players, media who are essentially these days fans, more so fans than media, they jump on board and call it hate. And I'm just kind of at the point where, you know, they now with that hate, they call it hate, so now they rather just diminish what came before and to try to big up what's now. And I just feel like if someone sets the bar up here, you either got to reach it to be better or be on par, and if you can't reach it, then you're not on par. What are your thoughts on that? This is just another topic that kind of brought that up when I'm looking at social media and stuff like that. But what are your takes on that?
Me personally, I think just along the same lines that you said, like, people are just really quick to call people haters, especially if it's something that they don't know themselves. And I'm saying, like, I'm sure whatever Jordan said wasn't meant, like, to start all this hoopla, but in this day and age, you say one thing, people are going to run with it and continue to go and go and go and go. And I think it's always, unfortunately, going to be an issue with the NBA stars of yesteryear and the NBA stars of today, because people are always putting them up against each other to say who's better when, what era, what player, what position, as opposed to just appreciating them both for what they were at that time. It's always, we always say it's like a crab. It's a crab barrel place. Like, it's like, oh, you're so good. Well, I don't want you to be that good. Let me bring you down to my level, or vice versa. But it's unfortunate that it's going to probably continue to happen. I err more on the side of just, these players are great, regardless of when it was. If they were great in their era, they were great. You can't take that away from them because they weren't born yet. You can't take that away from them because they were born early. Jordan wouldn't be that good in this era. Okay, he's not playing in this era. We're talking about Jordan when he played. He was amazing. He was the greatest of all time. I don't care what anybody says. And Steph, like you said, is a future Hall of Famer. Like, they're always going to compare them for some odd reason, but I just think some things are just incomparable. They do two different things in two different times. And I just wish people could find the logic behind everything before they just start talking and hating, and just see the real merit behind it. But I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah, we talk all the time. I think a lot of it just stems from, you know, back when we were growing up, there was a certain level of understanding to the game of what you were covering, right? And I feel like the prerequisites are a little bit different now, right? Which is cool for some things, because, you know, obviously we get to do what we do, right? But at the same time, like, I feel like everyone's not, you don't have to be as responsible as you were back then. You're allowed to say a lot of outlandish things or take little clips here. And, you know, obviously the media always spins stuff, right? That doesn't change, but to the degree in which we do it, right? Yeah. So that interview was literally not about basketball. Cool. Like, the reason they were there was not basketball related. Yet the only thing that I've seen all day long was something about basketball, which, when the story should actually be about the lives that were affected, the clinic, what that does for all the people. That's what the meat of the story is, right? And if you're gonna take a part of the basketball thing, I urge you to play the entire portion of the basketball thing. And I think that's my biggest issue. It's easy, and, you know, I just don't understand how we're all aware of it in this day and age, what everybody does, right? Take a clip of something, you do what you want with it, how it can look, you can manipulate it, and move it to fit whatever narrative you desire, right? But I feel like everyone knows that, yet we still don't stop and go, hey, my first thing, anytime somebody sells me something, I go find whatever you got it from, and I want to watch the entire thing to see, did you take it out of context? Because most times than not, if you put that clip back where it belongs in full context, it's usually a non-story. And this is one of those things where I felt it was a non-story. But, here we are, and again, we always talk, and this is just where we're at now. And unfortunately, it could be turning around here and there, but the NBA was back today, and that was just literally the biggest non-story in the world. Other people have said things about challenging people. I just took it like you said. It was just like a little challenge of stuff. Like, they're doubting you. Like, hey, come on, you know who you are, whatever, and that's it. I guess the only difference is like Kobe literally came out and gave Giannis his, MVP challenge or whatever.
Like this grand, maybe it was like this grand thing because he didn't just challenge Giannis. I think he challenged other people with smaller stuff. So maybe it was like this grand thing that I guess because Kobe made like a whole little program of it, I guess. And Jordan, I guess they just felt like he was.
And I think that's the thing that what hurts now is that most of the people in the media right now, right? They cover Kobe or you've been around for Kobe. The portion of Mike you were around for the most part.
It's ownership.
You're the ownership and like the Wizards days, right? So you're gonna take anything he says out of context. You don't know. If you never took the time, like you said, knowing your history, reviewing it, spending some time with all the wonderful tools we have, you like that's just classic Mike. It didn't register anything for me, but again, I'm not 20-something. I'm also not a 30-something where basketball is a foreign language to me. So I think a lot of that has to do with, but again, just the processes in which everything's stored around the clicks and everything else. That's a large chunk of why, we, especially what today happened, what happened today.
And then it's also, I think it's just also, this is technically LeBron and Steph Curry, but really mostly LeBron. And they want to be able to say that this guy is better and not even comparing it when it's just like, at the end of the day, whatever athlete, whatever era they played in, you got to go by the results. And this said player got better results. So you cannot argue with that, but they want to argue down to the point where I even heard Jay Williams, the former Duke player, one time say, well, Jordan winning 6 championships was luck. Like, ain't no luck in winning anything, homie. And that's when you kind of get me riled up, because I'm like, that's hard to win. It's hard to win anything.
But again, it just goes back to, it just proves what we were just saying.
Yeah, but he
not understanding to say anything to fit in there, a narrative, whatever outside pursuits or whatever, what I'm saying, the motive might be behind it. It's reckless endangerment to a degree on what you're sharing.
Yeah, because people give you clout because you on ESPN, even though you may not be qualified. Like for us, we're different. We're right there.
There's a lot of them on there.
Yes, exactly. But it's different from like say me and you. Because we right there with the people, so we don't view them that way. We know how they are off wax. So it's just like when we talk to fans and everyday people, we like, bro, it ain't what you think it is. But then we're hating, but it's not. That's what I mean. Like say when Jordan, even Kobe in the era we really grew up in, Kobe, AI, Garnett, Shaq, and all them. They said they didn't ish on the former players. All right, Kareem and these guys, Russell, the bar up here. Why don't y'all reach it?
It was
Kobe, like that's why everybody respect Kobe. He actually went for Mike the right way. Now he fell a little short, but his falling short is better than damn near everybody else. So you can respect it. These days, man, that wasn't that good. And that's what irritates me. It's like, no, you either can measure up or you can't. So what you saying is y'all can't measure up. So that's my thing is, and then the fans and the media not holding them to fire. You wonder why. The quality is not about bad, small talent. Really, what these the former players are really saying across sports is saying, y'all ain't got that dog in y'all like we did. Because the stuff y'all receiving and everything, we was fighting harder for far less. So imagine if all that was on the table. It would be a lot of smoke going on. And you see that along the way. And that's just a product of what I'm seeing. It's just like, man, look, instead of trying to tear down what came before you, appreciate it and try to measure up. And respect it, because it's hard to do that. I want to hear about what Russell played with just 18, whatever like that. He still won 11 out of 13 years, and he beat some dogs to do it. Go in your local gym and play in the YMCA or whatever, like men's league, and win 11 out of 13 times and put up his numbers. Put up 14, 22, 6 blocks and 4 assists, and then I will respect what you have to say. You can't do it. So how you going to say that when he literally was playing with the best of his time?
Just because they can't.
Exactly. And the thing is, like he told Mike one time, he said, yeah, okay, you did your damage, but we with the few teams we had, 8 to 11 teams, we literally were playing against the cream of the crop in basketball. It wasn't guys just in the league barely holding on. You see what I'm saying? Mike was like, you're right. He had to give it to Bill Russell on that note. So it's really, whatever, pretty much you had all NBA, the top 50 players of this era. Imagine that, now imagine that was it.
Yeah.
So you got to respect that. And I'm just tired of like the disrespect and everything like that. But then as soon as the whole time player was like, well, they don't do that. Oh man, you're hating. We don't want to listen to you. Oh man, that entitlement, that's why I wanted to bring that up. Because that's what I saw happen today when Mike, I'm seeing people call him out for his like, well, he ain't the best talent evaluator and all this stuff like that. And I'm like, but you a reporter, you ain't even in the shoes. Like, it's like the Jay-Z line, everybody can tell you how to do it, they never did it.
And that's why, but like, that's literally why today was just, it was comedy.
It was.
And again, biggest announcer in the world, and it's sad because if this was somebody else with that situation, right?
Nothing.
For what was said today, I'm not talking about what he said, but for what that they were actually there to talk about,
Yeah.
the story would actually be that.
That's what it should be.
Yeah.
And this really was a story last week when he opened the clinic. You ain't hear nothing. It was,
And that's
it
what
was
it should
crickets.
be. And that's, you know, that's what it is.
But that's part of this now.
We're going to take a very quick break, and when we get back, we'll come back and close out tonight's show. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be right back. You're watching Focus TV. Welcome back. All right, I want to thank you guys for watching tonight. As we exit, we're going to play another video from this year's Gym Couch National Training Showcase.
Roseville versus Mount Vernon.
Yep, it's definitely a good one, and you guys enjoy the highlights. As always, you're able to find us at mag.com, sports.com. Man, college basketball is pretty much here. We're talking about the NBA tonight, man.
Got media day this week.
Yeah, you got media day. Maryland women's got exhibition, so yeah.
It's that time again.
Oh yeah, just a nice deep breath in. The grind continues. But we'll see.
Hold on, keep an eye on our new NBA show we're going to have. Y'all going to understand what it's about, something unique, something different, and going to go from there. Going to be at the go-go. We got a lot coming, y'all.
Yep, so on a digital standpoint, go ahead and check that out each and every week. It is called Wizards Outlook. Sunday by the Focus TV. But this is the Focus TV, right here on DCTV, Blizz.fm. And we'll get to you guys next week. Again, coming up next, Gym Couch National Training Showcase highlights.